Good afternoon, and welcome to Salisbury and our newest part of the rail trail, which I just got done saying to Frank DiPaolo. I said, not only did we get a rail trail, but we got a park, a waterfront park here, because it's absolutely gorgeous. When we were talking about this, and this, you know, Jerry's here, and I know that Jerry and Neil will talk about the Salisbury officials that were involved here, but when we got involved with this project, it was really to see what we could do with the rail bed across the street and try to connect that. And Jerry and a small core group really sort of led that way, and he called Senator Bador and I at the time to come in and talk about working out a lease with the MBTA. Well, that led to an absolutely gorgeous trail that we've all been on, or if you've walked on it, biked on it. It's absolutely magnificent, that runs adjacent to Route 1A. But we all realized as I came over with my two young kids one day, trying to get over the other side of the trail, you took your life into your own hands. So the quagmire was, how do we get people safely over to the trail so they can connect from Newburyport to Salisbury, or Salisbury to Newburyport? So the idea was to come in and, as you know, build this underpass. And it took private landowners who donated land, it took a lot of folks who were involved, and it took a great effort and finances by the state to get this done. And at first we thought it would be a small little path that would connect the trail, and quite frankly, living in Newburyport, I'm somewhat envious now that I'm over here looking at this side and wondering how we're going to touch up our side. But the park has come out magnificent. It's beyond anyone's wildest expectations. I mean, sitting at the picnic table and looking out, it's a multi-million-dollar view that everyone can sit, take a rest, spend time with their families, and enjoy. And this, personally, for me, I look at these rail trails as some of the biggest achievements politically. I think that I know, and I've said it, you know, ad nauseum, so if you've heard it, I apologize, but when my children were young and I wanted to take them out to ride, it's kind of tough to ride in the neighborhoods. You don't, you know, the houses are tight, the streets are tight. So we used to go on vacations. We'd pick vacation spots where we could put our bikes on a trail and go. And I think that this is an additional, not only is it great for our families and for our kids, but I think it's going to be a big draw for folks as these trails develop, and it's already become a big draw. So I just want to say a real hearty thanks to Mass DOT. This project and projects like this would not have happened if they did not really take the lead and come up with the funding. And this is $1 million project by DOT that was funded by DOT. It wasn't by Salisbury taxpayers, it wasn't by Newburyport taxpayers, it was by DOT bringing our money back into our district. And it's not the first project. I'm going to introduce, my job today is to introduce a few folks, but the first person I'm going to introduce is Commissioner Frank DiPaolo, who, quite frankly, has been, I'm going to say, administrator. They changed his title. I don't know why. I keep telling him. It was horrible because he should be the super commissioner. He's been up here so many times, whether it's the Rotary work we're doing in Newburyport or whether it's this. It's really Frank who really makes the decisions and statewide, and he is a workhorse. And I've been it's been an honor to work with him. And I'm also going to introduce from Secretary Davies' office Sarah Lavoie and Catherine Cagle, who are here, who helped us with sustainable transportation. And I want to definitely recognize the District 4 team, our district, District 4, two of these folks who we see all the time. Patty, I think we've had 10 years of you've just like listened to us complain and always found a solution to to our problems. But Patty Leavenworth and Paul Stedman, who are here and just done an excellent job. The folks that work in transportation know how lucky we are in District 4. Larry Glazebrook, I saw Larry this morning. I was driving down 113. He was with a crew putting up signs. Every time I turn around, I see Larry somewhere on the highway. Larry's here and his regional team. The guys here you see in the DOT vests who here, and they've always been very helpful. And with that, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to recognize, I think my job right now is to introduce Frank DiPaolo. Thank you.
Thank you, and good afternoon. On behalf of the Patrick Murray administration and Secretary Davey, I want to thank you for welcoming me here today to celebrate the completion of this project. Community support for this project was critical along the way, so I'd like to acknowledge the efforts of the area residents and advocates. I would also like to recognize the work of MassDOT's Highway District 14, under the leadership of Highway District Director Patty Leavenworth and engineers Paul Cameron and David Conroy. And from the town, Jerry Klima, Lisa Pearson, Don Levesque, and the contractor, John D. Hartnett and Sons. We're here to celebrate the $1 million quarter-mile connector that links the Salisbury Rail Trail and the Clippership Rail Trail in Newburyport. This is a wonderful way to bring Bay State Bike Week to a close by letting the public know that the Gillis Rail Trail connector is ready for their use. I work as the MassDOT Highway Administrator, but our division's actions and initiatives continue to show our involvement, commitment, and contributions to building pedestrian and bicycling facilities that improve connectivity and encourage our residents to get out and be active. We're on the right path, and we must stay committed to MassDOT's mode shift goal and Green Dot policies, as well as the Healthy Transportation Compact. We want to reduce single car trips, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and encourage residents to incorporate physical activity into their daily commutes. I should note that the Gillis Rail Trail Connector is also part of the growing Bay State Greenway network in the Merrimack River Valley region. We look forward to beginning construction of the new Whittier Bridge that will also not only carry vehicles, traffic on Route 95, but it will also be the first time a shared use path has been constructed for cyclists and pedestrians on an interstate in the Commonwealth. Congratulations to all involved and the community. Happy biking.
Thank you, Frank. And I don't know, can you guys do something about the noise up there? I don't know. It's next it needs some funding. I told you did too many projects in my district. We're all done. The next person I want to introduce, it comes in the heels of Steve Bedore, who was very instrumental when we put this project together. And she is no less tenacious, and I've had the pleasure to work with her now for, what is it, 5 months? Going on 5 months. We're doing our first budget together, and she's heading into her first budget week. But Katie Ives, Senator Ives, chairs travel and tourism, which for us was a big coup because it's important that clearly the two cities, the town and the city that we're standing in front of, depend heavily upon travel and tourism, and this will be a big lift to it. So it was a coup for us to get her into travel and tourism, a coup for us to get her into the Senate, and I'm very excited to introduce Senator Ives.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So this is the good stuff, and moments like this inspire me when we're in the midst of a very intense upcoming budget debate in the Senate. And what makes me so proud to be here today, it goes to show that people collaborating together and focusing on long-term goals, it really does happen. And for a project like this, where there were so many moving pieces, different pieces of land, different entities, different people in the legislature, and folks in Salisbury, you pulled it together, and here we are today. When the Clipper City Rail Trail came to fruition, and there was a much bigger vision for how to connect these trails together, we knew by the use of the trail and wanting to get over to Salisbury that the work wasn't quite done. And it's so impressive that MassDOT saw that we needed to finish this to make it optimal, to make it completely safe and completely bicycle and pedestrian friendly, and today we can actually celebrate that today. And that's what I think is so impressive, that vision and completion with investment. So it's not just window dressing, it's really making these visions user-friendly and human-friendly so that we have a Commonwealth that's not car-centric, it's person-centric, and we can bring our children, our families. And I'm very proud and excited to be the co-chair of tourism, because look at our district. This is an amazing framing of the vista in Newburyport and people to see what there is to offer here in Salisbury. So I'm very excited to be here today. The work is ongoing so that we can continue to highlight the trails that we're working so hard on, and hopefully we'll see each other using this connector every single day, every single weekend, and bring our friends from outside of the district, because this is an amazing hub for tourism. So it's very exciting, and I look forward to seeing you on this trail.
Thank you, Senator. And then I guess my last duty is to introduce our town manager, Neil Harrington, who, again, you know, every time you stand up, you say these are just politicians slapping each other on the back, and some of that's true. But legitimately, in the last 10 years, and Neil, I think you've been there for 8 of my 10. Is it right? Almost the whole 10. I will tell you, the easy part of doing work with Salisbury is, whether it's Lisa or Ron or the board, whenever you give the directive, your town manager has been able to really sort of move it. And it's, you know, it's easy for us to be successful when those ideas and those projects are well planned, well thought out, and ready to go. Shovel ready sounds almost too, you know, passé, but it is, when these projects are prepared for us, it makes our job easier. And no one's done it better than Neil here in Salisbury. So with that, I'm going to introduce Neil, who's going to introduce some of the Salisbury folks.
Thank you, Mike. I have probably the easiest job of anyone here, and that is on behalf of the town to thank everyone locally who's been involved in this terrific partnership that we've had with MassDOT over the last several years. We'd like to thank the administrator, Mr. DiPaolo, for coming here personally today on a Friday afternoon. Patty Leavenworth and her staff, everyone, Paul Stedman, everyone that's helped us from the state. People from the town who don't work on these things on a day-to-day basis don't realize the amount of coordination and effort that goes into it from these folks here who have projects all over the state that they work on. And to come here and to see this absolutely gorgeous rail trail connector, and to think that this was made possible by the efforts of a lot of local people and their persistence in working with the state is just a terrific thing. It's going to be enjoyed by people for a long period of time. Without the support of the Board of Selectmen, I myself wouldn't be able to do any of the things that I and my team are able to do here working with these folks. So I'd like to recognize the board members who are here today and thank them for their continued involvement in these projects and other things which improve the quality of life in our town. The chairman of the board, Henry Richenberg. Henry, thank you. To my left, Ed Hunt. Ed, thank you. Fred Knowles in the back. Fred, thank you. Directly in front of me in the red shirt, Don Bolio. And the newest member of the board who's going to provide, I'm sure, a seamless transition from the gentleman that I'm going to talk about in a second, Freeman Condon. Freeman, thank you. This is the first time since I've been here that I've had the opportunity to introduce this next gentleman as someone who's not a member of the Board of Selectmen. But I think anyone who's paid attention to what's going on in Salisbury in the last 10 years knows that, and I say this in every positive way that I can, the godfather of the rail trail industry in this part of the state is the gentleman that I'm going to introduce next. Jerry Clymer has spent countless hours of his own personal time, aside from his official duties as a selectman, looking at every single detail of all of these projects, doing the research, doing the lobbying, you know, connecting with people regionally, nationally. I got an email from a gentleman from Pennsylvania today talking about this and how they're going to add this link to the National Rail Trail link and get this information out all over the country. And it would not have been possible, in my opinion, without the diligence of Jerry Clymer. So Jerry, I'd like to introduce you and thank you so much.
Well, there's a lot of people to thank. You know, what do they say? Success has many fathers and mothers, right? And this trail, this little connection has many parents. And you know, I hope we don't forget to thank. A lot of people have been thanked already, but there are a few that haven't been thanked yet, and it wouldn't be here but for them. And one of them is standing, I think, over there behind Ed Hunt, John Golden. Oh, he's hiding. John owns the a house across the street and owned the road that connects this place to the Marsh Trail. And he donated it. He donated the land to do this. And Larry Plow of Bridge Marina donated 9 feet of his land on the other side of the street. We couldn't have done that without these two civic-minded, very good neighbors. I really want to thank them. And also, Massachusetts Department of Transportation has just, you know, stepped up above and beyond. When you see the beautiful trail in Newburyport, our trail, the plans to extend our trail to New Hampshire, the Whittier Bridge plan, it's just remarkable. This is a very big, long-term project that's going to be benefiting people for generations. So that's the big picture. The small picture is that somebody has to actually make it all work. And there's one person standing right over there, Lou Rubito, who is the designer, the engineer who designed this project. He was wonderful to work with. You know, very concerned with safety. I didn't have any sense that he was concerned with beauty, but now I can tell that he is, because we've gotten a beautiful design. You know, cooperative, responsive, just a wonderful guy to work with. So I really want to thank you, Lou, for all that you put into this. I hope you bring your kids here and show it off to them. That's one thing. I was a lawyer. All of my work is in the drawer. You know, a person like Lou can bring his kids and show it to them. So that's a wonderful opportunity. John Hartnett and his men, very good to work with. We were cutting bricks yesterday to put in a sign. So that's it's been the quality of work and the cooperation has really been outstanding. Another organization that hasn't been mentioned is the MVPC. Without the Merrimack Valley Planning Commission showing the leadership, putting together a transportation plan, recognizing the importance of these projects, they wouldn't get done. So I see Tony Kamornik over there. I don't know if Dennis DeZoglio is here, but Tony, thank you, and Betsy Goodrich and Dennis and the rest of your staff for, you know, helping take care of our region and really make it work better. Thank you very much. There's also, you can see, tomorrow we're having an art stroll. I hope that more of you will come back and stroll along the Marsh Trail and see the artists, sculptors, craftspeople, and see what they're offering. But part of that, we did another little project to enhance this even more, which is the paintings under the bridge, and that also was a wonderful partnership with the Newburyport Art Association. Lisa Pearson of the Planning Department, Leah Hill, and I, and Eleanor Bacharach, who's there she is, the Executive Director of the Art Association, and Benita LaFleur, all formed a little committee, just informally, and worked on this, raised money, solicited the artists, found fabulous artists, some of whom are standing over here. We have not just a walkway, we also have a gallery. And I think that is something that is really pretty darn special. So thank you. So, but we're not done yet. There's work to be done to extend our trail to New Hampshire. The Whittier Bridge is coming, and that's going to be a fabulous connection that will let people go from Amesbury and Salisbury to Newburyport, to connect to the bus terminal. It's going to be a very important transportation and also tourism thing, because there are going to be interpretive signs on the bridge, beautiful views. That will really make this area just hum in terms of it being a place to be. We have a little bit of unfinished business that's not quite on the drawing board yet, which is connecting to Amesbury. But I won't elaborate on that. I'll just leave that as something that we still have to work on. I just thank you all for coming, and I hope you and all your friends can enjoy this. It's a fabulous public place, and I'm just so happy with that.
All right, so we are going to cut the ribbon. I do want to make one more thanks. Fred Lucy, who's my aide, who is like the pit bull in this party, just keeps everyone on their toes. So Fred's here. And with that, I'm going to direct everyone to cut the ribbon. And so, Paul, you're the administrator. How do you want to do it?
Line everybody up. I was going to say that. The official,
Oh, we got golden.
that's it.